So, friends, welcome to this session. This is 10th of January 2018 newspaper analysis. Today's paper is full with a lot of interesting things. Not only it covers the Supreme Court judgment, but it also covers. Now, Supreme Court in December 2016 had issued a directive that the cinema hall owners will be playing national anthem before they are screening any movie. Now, this drew mixed reactions. Now, playing national anthem is not a bad thing, but if it is coming from the state, judiciary is an arm of state, and if it is coming from a state, it becomes a coercive patriotism, something which is not inherently coming from inside; it is coming from outside. And there was also a controversy that erupted during Kerala Film Festival when around six people did not stood up during an event, and that sparked a huge controversy. So, looking at all these, there was a review petition about the order in 2016. So, Supreme Court has now struck down that order and it has changed its order and said that now it would be voluntary for the cinema hall owners to play the national anthem. So, the mandatory national anthem has been reduced and it has been welcomed for the uninitiated and for those who want to score more in GS2. The name of the case that was with respect to mandatory national anthem is Shyam Narayan Chaukasi, who argued that playing national anthem would instill a sense of committed patriotism and nationalism. Friends, this is an economy article. Uh, there are a lot of popular farm waivers that have been given by various state governments. Now, there is an RBI data that points out that how farm waivers are now, in a way, causing bank issues in terms of there is a more stressed assets due to the farm waivers. So banks have now witnessed 11,500 crore NPA due to farm waivers, bad loans in agriculture. Friends, this needs to be seen in perspective. So when we have a farm waiver that comes in, then there is an expectation that uh, those who paid are at the loss. Those who repaid the loans are at the loss. And on the other hand, those who did not pay the loan are at the gain. So there is a tendency that people who are even though capable of paying are also not paying because they believe that they in the nearby future there will be a farm waiver. Now this is surprising. RBI's data point out that the agri NPAs have risen from 23% from 2016 to 2017. Majorly, one of the important and large states, Uttar Pradesh, had done the farm waiver in 2016, and that could be seen as one of the impetus. Now, farm sector loans is a major chunk of the priority sector lending that is being given by RBI. So there are certain sectors that needs to be given a priority lending, and there is a kind of a mandatory fixed quota, and there is a sub quotas also. So that creates a lot of pressure on the banks to extend these loans. But the problem is the farm credit is now also joining the corporate credits, and there is a lot of non repayment that is creating operational issues for the bank, which is running short of the assets. And there is another article that deals with economy. Uh, so RBI had called fresh application for foreign banks that are interested in opening the branches. There are 14 new uh, foreign banks which want to extend their branches or want to enter the Indian banking space. Majority of them are from South Korea. So I think Act East policy is showing its changes. Then there are three in Iran and there are two from China. This is a significant because as now foreign banks wants to increase their branches in India. So Iran is trying to extend its customer base. So after the Iran sanctions had been removed, this is seen that Iran wants to increase its economic base, and India is a large lending place. Chinese banks have already extended large scale loans. One such loan that has been discussed is Indigo had taken a loan from ICBC, International uh, Credit Bank of China, something. Friend, the next article is from Foreign Affairs. Certainly not a very good news. There is a surge in Chinese transgressions and face off and line of actual control. For uninitiated, we have different kinds of lines and borders. So international border is something boundary which is agreed by the both the sides. Then the line of control is there. Line of control is only between India and Pakistan in Jammu and Kashmir. Then we have the line of actual control. Most of us would be knowing that there is a boundary dispute between India and China. So there is no overall agreed boundary that is being agreed from the both the sides. So in these line of control, there has been number of face-offs, including the famous Doklam face-off, which was 73-day face-off. Number of face-offs have increased to 48%. So it is in a way good news as a bad news. So I'll tell you the bad news first. The number of Chinese incursions have increased, but the number of face-offs has increased also. So that's a good news. So every time an incursion is happening, there is an eyeball to eyeball confrontation that happens, and that has now helped in reducing the number of incursions. And it also points out that India has shown the intent that it's ready to protect its territory, something that it has not done in the past. And apart from that, the official data shows that there have been 26 flag meetings as a part of a confidence building measure between India and China since June 2016. Now, this is an interesting article. It is written by uh, one of the ministers, MJ Akbar, and this is a running commentary on triple talaq. MJ Akbar puts forward the government's version of what has been the turn of events, the way the triple talaq bill has been treated in Rajya Sabha, and the way what center says that there has been a trust deficit that has been done by the large parties in Rajya Sabha. Now, uh, article points out like from Shah Banu to triple talaq, lies and deceptions have been used to cheat women of rights, but it will not happen. And MJ Akbar starts with a story of Sikandar Begum. She was the first knight of Empress, first female knight of an Empress, and she was special in that sense that not only she was able to exert herself in getting that title, which no other women has got. So that was one such thing, and also she persuaded British Empress to open Jama Masjid for praying. So after 1857, due to large scale involvement of both Hindu as well as Muslim soldiers, the Jama Masjid's prayers were stopped. So Sikandar Begum did it that time, and she became the first ruler to go on Hajj. And he takes this as a benchmark. In this was done in somewhere around 1800, late 1800 and mid 1800. From there to 2018, the days have been very starkly changed for nothing for good but for the bad. It points out that until 2017, Indian Muslim women can't even go to Hajj without a Muslim uh, or a male guardian. So that was a discriminatory. Now this has been ended with Prime Minister's Man Ki Baat speech, and now over 1300 have already applied to travel to Hajj without a male guardian. So that itself shows that the level of exploitation that was there. Then triple talaq bill is unique because it is certainly going in the direction which many of the previous government had purposely declared no go. And MJ Akbar points out that practice of triple talaq is violation of Holy Quran, and he describes how the overall what was the Shah Banu case and what happened post Shah Banu case. The way Muslim clerics were able to persuade the central government to change their stance, to change the legislation. But he points out that this will not be allowed to happen in the triple talaq case. And he also points out there is there is some amount of unorthodoxy in the Muslim clerics who are not allowing the progress to happen in the personal law phase. And he points out, like, in every Muslim country, any talaq uttered under the influence of alcohol is invalidated, but Indian clerics upheld these talaqs also. Friends, there was another article that was with respect to Article 377. For uninitiated, Article 377 deals with uh, unnatural sex and gay sex. So I'll tell you the story. What was there was a Kaushal versus Nas Foundation case that was decided in somewhere around December 2013, in which Delhi High Court had held that Section 377 is unlawful and unconstitutional, and it was struck down. But a two-judge bench reversed the outcome, and there was a large-scale criticism that occurred. Now, this entire so thereafter there was a right to privacy. uh, KS Puttaswamy case. In this KS Puttaswamy case, it was pointed out that sexual orientation of an individual is part of his right to privacy. But this article, which has been written by Additional Solicitor General, she points out that this is different from the overall perspective of Section 377. Section 377 is not only dealing with the privacy, it is also dealing with the unnatural sex. And she points out that there is an internal dichotomy. The Section 377, what Section 377 describes unnatural sex is not mentioned, because since 2002, anal and oral has not been considered unnatural. And uh, also, uh, this Additional Solicitor General, she's keenly pointing out how sexual laws and laws related to sexuality has been very complicated with respect to um, gender, with respect to age, with respect to marital status. It points out like how POSCO is gender neutral law. Any person who is minor, if there is any assault happen on in the minor, or if there isn't any unforeseen things happen towards the minor, it is a punishable. So we do not consider what is the gender of the minor. But after 18, unnatural sex for women is different. So anal and oral will be unnatural sex for if men does it on women, it will not be considered unnatural. But if it is done on the boy, it will be considered unnatural. So there is a kind of a internal confusion in that. And then there is another problem of the marital rape, in which if a husband who is married to 15-year-old, so any woman who is more than 15-year-old, any girl, and if her husband rapes her, then that will not be considered rape. But any other individual, if even if that individual has a consent intercourse, that also is considered as rape. So there is an overall complication with respect to sexuality, with respect to consent, and with respect to privacy and gender.